Yo. Oh dear. Uh-oh. Where's my button? Here we go. That's the right button. Whee. Where's my chat? Oh my gosh, there's people here. Oh. Hey, coffee. Coffee. It's got like foam at the top of it. It's just normal black coffee. It's got foam at the top. It's kind of like, it's almost a beer because it's got that head froth stuff. I don't know what they call that in beer, but it's not. It's just coffee. Okay, so hello. Okay, we got Sith Lord. What's up, dude? Vince Pale. Hello. Toxico Kami. What up? Matthew Chamberlain. What up, dude? Are we playing some D&D tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow. That'll be fun. Sunamidi 5776. Hello. What's up? Effie. Fred. What's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? Freight Train's in the house. Hello. He's gonna be swinging the wrench tonight, whacking people when they get out of hand because these live streams tend to be really, you know, out of handed stuff. Denton Holmes, hello. What's up, dude? We're gonna get to questions a little bit. If I don't get to yours, dude, you just throw that back in the chat. Rachel, hello. How you doing? Faded, what's up, dude? Rachel's like always here. What up? Joshua Beatum, what up, dude? Evan Bashnaw, hello. Kiera C, hello. Good to see you. Fred says I'd smoke the DMPC first. Oh yeah, DMPCs are nightmares usually. Usually, there is a way to do them right, but they usually are just like, probably not very good. Mars said, what's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? Matthew Hanlon, hello. Yes, I ran away. Sammy Nikling, hello. Dr. Delirium, what up, dude? I can't understand your language. It looks like you just smashed the keyboard, buddy. Mad Hatter, hello. What's up? Thomas Dank Engine, hello. Mike B, what up? Ray, yo, what up, dude? Sir Vic, hello, Sir Vic, what's up, dude? Yes, everybody enjoys a little bit of wrench swinging. So we have two of our cartographers in the house tonight. We have Marcine, who is one of our cartographers, and we have Sir Vic as well. They're like, I think we have, yeah, they're two of our main cartographers. They do like the vast majority of the cartography for all of our publications, like Lair magazine and stuff. So what up, guys? Welcome to the live stream. Ryan Ekstrom, hello, what up, dude? Dungeon of Terra, yo. Justified Reality, hello. Drake, what up? Lord Alethord, what up, dude? Salmon roll. Salmon roll? I'm not into sushi. I'm gonna tell you a story. I took my daughter to a sushi place once. It was expensive. It was like, I want to say it was like $18 for like, just, I don't know, 4 pieces of sushi or something. She ate this stuff in like under a minute. Just like, gone. And I'm just like, what? That's a $20 meal that's gone in 1 minute. Needless to say, we never went back there. If you're just gonna swallow it whole without even savoring it, there's no way that I'm gonna spend money on you again. That happened once and never again. Anyway, I think it's a thing. I don't know. There's also a thing, there's one culture where they'll like eat noodles and they like literally don't chew or anything. It's just, they just suck it down. It's like, anyway, let's move on. There's usually 5 streams I want to see all at the same time. This time Fridays. Oh, really? Cool. I don't usually do them on Fridays anyway. Deadpool, hello. Terry Robinson, hello. Ben Tolman, what up, dude? You're here when work allows, which seems like most of the time, Rachel. PR, hello. Leslie Carrier, what up, dude? I'm just reading names at this point. Dungeon Smith, what's up? When is your next Thieves Abound campaign video coming to YouTube? Tomorrow. Tomorrow it's scheduled to go. Tomorrow. It's usually every 2 weeks, unless we skip a session, and they almost always go up on Saturdays. So, oh, Kira says that she is a new D&D player, just started 3 weeks ago, and she got hooked. That's how it happens. That's how it happens, yo. You just start playing, and the next thing you know, that's all your brain thinks about, dude. All your brain thinks about. It's cool. I remember that's fun. Those are fun times, yo. Kimberly, hello. What up? Okay, let's start the live stream. That was just the reading of names and greeting people who are here. My coffee's a little too hot still. Okay, I gotta find some buttons to push. What's my first button? My first button is that button. Yeah, it makes me big. All right, hello, welcome to the live stream. We have a special guest tonight. Are you gonna come on the stream, special guest? Are you gonna come on? You gonna come on the stream? There we go. We have a special guest tonight. This is Squeaky. He is a pain in the butt. He just wants his belly rubbed and fluffed and stuff. So he's just gonna be walking back and forth and bothering us tonight. Tonight we're hanging out. We're gonna be answering questions and stuff, whatever, you know. So throw them in the chat. We're just gonna hang and talk about stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much the schedule for tonight. Nothing spectacular. We do have, as in most of our streams, we have a giveaway going on tonight. Giving away a copy of Into the Fae. It'll be a signed copy. I will sign it for you. If you already have it or you don't want it, that's cool too. You can also get DM Lair store credit and get a whole bunch of awesome resources for your 5th edition or Pathfinder 2 games. So the link to the giveaway should be in the chat somewhere. I have not seen Stream Elements running though, so Stream Elements might not be working. It is working. Okay, why aren't my timers working then? Oh, I think we haven't been stream. I don't know, but anyway, it's working. He just put the link in the chat. So thank you, Freight Train. So join the giveaway. We'll draw the winner into the giveaway at the end of the live stream. I have another cat down here who wants me to rub his belly, and I'm not rubbing his belly. We'll draw the winner at the end of the live stream, as we always do. You don't have to be here to win. Just gotta fill out the form and junk. That's it. All right, what else are we doing? Yes. So for any of you guys who are interested in and have quite not yet gotten the pre-orders for our Kickstarter, the last Kickstarter we did, The Secret Art of Game Mastery. If you haven't pre-ordered, if you're not a backer, you haven't pre-ordered and you're interested in this thing, you might want to pre-order soon, because we started the timer for the 7-day countdown. Pre-orders are going to lock and close and be done with in about 7 days. So if you want to get your hands on these books here to help game masters, and there's one that helps you prepare for your campaign and prepare for your adventures and then take notes and crap. I mean, it's all explained on the page here, but it's 3 awesome books to help you in your games. And it's system agnostic, so it doesn't matter if you're playing 5th edition or Pathfinder 2 or whatever. But if you want these suckers, then pre-orders close in like 7 days. So you probably want to check that out. Freight Train, if you do !Kickstarter as a command, it will put the link to it in the chat too, so they can click this thingy bobber and whatever. So that's closing soon. So if you're interested in that, you might want to take a peek at that. If not, that's cool. All right, there we go. Whoa, calm down there, buddy. He's trying to fluff his belly and he just jumped away from me. All right. Oh, my Stream Elements thing still says that it launches August 2023. I should probably change that. All right, let's go change that. This is the chat command. Custom commands. Where's the one for Kickstarter? Little guy, I'm not rubbing your belly. We're going to say last chance for pre-orders. There we go. There. Now our chat message will be more appropriate. It was like saying it was gonna launch in August. Like, we already done launched it and closed it, yo. All right, the last thing we got to do is read off all the names of our wonderful patrons. So let's go to this screen right there. So the folks you see on screen here are our awesome DM Lair patrons. They help support all the content we create around here. So these live streams where we answer people's questions, all of the weekly videos that I put out. Do you guys know that I'm doing stupid skits again? Like on my shorts. If you go look at my shorts on my channel, I'm doing those dumb skits again. You know, with my characters and stupid stuff. So I don't know. I think it's funny. So they help pay for those stupid skits. They help pay for, we have cartographers and writers and editors for our content. We have writers. Zach is on our team. He does a crap ton of work. So we have lots of people that help create all of the content that we make around here for folks. The free content and the paid content, such as Lair magazine and our Kickstarters and stuff like that. All that stuff takes tons of effort, time, and work and stuff, and our patrons help support that. And I'm deeply appreciative to all of our wonderful patrons. And our patrons also get an issue of Lair magazine every month, 5th edition and Pathfinder 2 resources in it. And we have Foundry VTT modules as well that patrons get. So lots of amazing stuff for patrons to help them in their games, reduce their prep time, and still run awesome games. So these patrons here pay extra money to support us, so we read their names out loud at every stream. All right, here we go. Adam B, Agile Monk, Alexandro N, Alex S, Alexander O, Ellen D, Amanda W, Ambers, Angelique K, Anton K, Art Soccer, Ashley, Alucas, Beavis Khan, Bees in Space, Black Wolf, Brad M, Bradley H, Brandon A, Brandon P, Brian D, Brian O, Brian the Lion, Brian J, Carl C, Chris C, Christine B, Christopher G, Colette H, Colin W, Connor D, Contrary Gravy, Corey A, Courtney H, Dazzled Up, David S, DeWolf, Dalen W, Dean B, Derek E, Derek K, Dice Goblin Wannabe, Dominic S, Don D, Dazum, Dungeon of Terra, Dutch, Ed R, Edward B, Edward L, Mfrabo, Endorian 72, Eric B, Erno T, Gabriel T, Gary C, Gene A, Generic Throwaway, George E, George R, Greg P, Guapo, GVTM, Heart Ungaled, Helltong, HLD, Iron Cascade, Ispailbon, Jackie Pizza, Jake L, Jacob K, James C, James L, Jan F, Jennifer M, Jeremy W, Jarek, Jim P, Joanne P, Joel, John A, John J, John the Wicked, John Pinkanaz, Jonathan F, Jonathan S, Jonathan V, Jordan A, Jose, Joseph H, Joseph W, Josh M, Josh S, Josh J, Juan, Kamata, Kikano Tsuki, sorry, Kevin F, Killsaber K, Kirby, Crystal S, Curryclaw, Laura L, Laser, HV Scion, Lionheart, Linda, Loki, Lord H, Luke E, Matlock, Macy S, Magna, Marcel V, Matt S, Matthew C, Meepa Known, Meepy, Michael G, Mirostal, Mitchell, Mo20s, Mordakin, Mr. Owl, Nerd with Glasses, Nerd Over 900, Nicholas S, Nick H, Neareth, Old Mad Mage, PN, Paul B, Paul S, Pethnick, Pivotal, Porkchop Bacon, Puppet Master, Quith the Metal, Mo, Randy B, Rebar, Renner C, Richard M, Rob W, Robert C, Robin B, Ryan, Sale R, Sakura, Samantha J, Samuel M, Scott R, Scott S, Sebaran, Shadow 1317, Shane L, Sheila, Simfan, Snapbragger, Soul, Bora, Gaming, Son of a Sofa Man, Soul Naya, Stan the Man, Steve G, I'm sorry, that's Stefan G, Stephen T, Steve S, Sturm, Terry V, the Three Quarters Hospital, the Old DM, the Wookiee, the Fuzzle, the New Bad Ombre, Thomas F, Thomason J, Timothy T, TK Travels the Lost, Trinity Series, T Warner, Tyler D, Tyler R, Unalloyed, Undying Warlock, Valagor, Victoria Q, Vinny, Vladimir S, Walt O, Wesley K, William CX, Red Drum, Zachary J, Zombie Trami. Whee! I got it all. I only screwed up a few of those. Only lost a few patrons today. It's not bad. Mick Dougie, hello, dude. Says, love your stuff. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Fred says, I like the skits. Bring back the Warlock. Oh, yeah. We haven't had a Warlock in any of the new ones yet. Yeah, I'll have to get the Warlock in there. I've been focusing on, obviously, the Dungeon Master, and then the Rogue, the Barbarian, and the Wizard, and then the Cleric, who used to be a fighter, but now I'm kind of re-envisioning him as a Cleric. But I've been focusing on those guys, but we can get the Warlock back, too. The Warlock never says it. Well, no, the Warlock does say stuff. The Warlock does say stuff. He says he has like that raspy voice. I don't think this is correct. Yeah. Cool. All right, cool. So you got questions, throw them in the chat. We're just answering questions tonight. How long does it take you to make a YouTube video, by the way? How long does it take me to make a YouTube video? So I'll just break down all the steps. I have to script it. So the scripting of one video, usually, when we're talking about the long form videos, the scripting of one video usually takes about 3 hours. That's 3 hours to script the thing. Now, sometimes that involves some research, but I also have Ed on my team. He helps me a lot with the research. for my videos, and so I owe a lot to Ed for helping me out with the research on that, because I'll tell him I'm doing videos on these topics, and then Ed Robinson, he will go out and get a bunch of information on those topics and then send it to me, and so that helps a lot with research. Because, you know, sometimes there are topics that I want to do that I know a bit about, but I want to be more thorough in it. Or sometimes I want to do things that I don't know a whole lot about, maybe. And I want to make sure we really research some crap out of it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes patrons will ask for certain topics, and sometimes I'm like, well, let's go find out. Let's go do some research on these topics. So he'll do some research. I might have to do some research, and then we script it, right? And the scripting is probably around 3 hours, I would say, to get a script together. And that's for a video that goes between like 15 minutes to 20 minutes or something like that, which is kind of probably where a lot of my videos fall in, getting the script down. And almost all the scripts are word for word scripts. I just write out exactly what I'm gonna say. And the way that I do my videos is I only film videos once a month. I have filmings once a month. Because like back there is where, sorry mommy, I got a cat down here that just got kicked because she's under my feet. Sorry mommy. She's old too, so we got to give her attention every time we see her. So I film all my videos back there, but you may notice, you can't see because my cats have their faces in the way, but my equipment is not set up because I don't set my equipment up every week. That would be insanity. Now I could have a dedicated space in my house for filming, but I don't want to do that. So what I do instead is I just film once a month. So every week I usually do one script, one long form video script, and then I'll script out a short, like some skit or something under 1 minute. And then I do that every week. And then once a month I set up all the equipment. Setting up all my filming equipment probably takes about 2 hours or so, 2 to 3 in 2 hours, and then I gotta put makeup on and crap. I gotta take a shower and stuff. That takes a little bit of time too. So that'll everything might be 3 hours to get everything set up or whatever. And then you can't just rub my cameras. Jeez. She's gonna go right back to rubbing it. 3 hours to set up all the equipment, and then each video usually takes, like a long form video, probably takes me about 45 minutes to actually film it. I do all of, obviously I have, when I script them, I do it word for word. So I have a teleprompter that just spits it back at me. But I only read my lines once. I do not read my lines more than once unless I screw it up. So I'm like a one take wonder. Like I read through and I do all my mannerisms and all the funny, dumb stuff I do. First take, done, right? Unless I screw up a line and then I gotta redo it because you screwed it up. Sometimes I don't redo it though, and then my editor just makes it a blooper or something, I don't know. So I probably got I got 6 hours maybe. I don't know. It takes me about 10 hours on filming day, all told, from setup to teardown. But the key when you're setting up and tearing down filming equipment is you don't rush, you don't hurry. Because the moment you start rushing and hurrying with expensive equipment, that's the moment it breaks. So you got to be careful and just take your time and be methodical about it. But that's my filming day. So you got 3 hours into scripting, and then let's just pretend out of an entire day of filming, 1 hour is dedicated roughly to the actual filming of it, including a little slice for teardown and stuff. So up to 4 hours. And then at that point, I have a video editor on my team, Zach, who edits the videos, and I ship it off to him. Now, how long does it take him to edit it? I don't know. It takes me about a minute to pay him though. So that's not even that much. So, but if I were to edit it myself, it would take me a solid 2 hours probably to edit one of my videos. So there's that time that I can't, she wants me to just pet her nonstop. Jeez. If I stop petting her, she starts pawing at me. So we're up to 4 hours. Now, the other thing that I have to do is create the thumbnails and stage it on the channel. That usually takes me about 2 hours. So we're up to 6 hours. Let's call it 6 hours. So one video probably represents about 6 hours of work. roughly 4, 6, yeah, like that. I think that's probably pretty fair. So that's about how long it takes me to do one video. 6 hours of work. Yeah. Oh, the druid, yeah. Oh, yeah, the warlock does hold the sign up a lot. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. As a player, do you have any tips on how to make sure you aren't dominating the campaign? Yeah, I shut my mouth up. It's simple. I intentionally shut up. I try to keep a tab on how much I talk, and I make sure I try to do my best to give other people an opportunity to talk too. It's simple. I mean, you know, you just pay attention to what you're doing, and then you make sure you shut up. I am one of the more outgoing members of our group, but I worry others might think I'm too dominant. You just got to give them a chance to talk, you know? You just got to take a break and give them a chance to talk every so often, you know? But I will say this, there's something to be said about not everybody wants to talk all the time, you know? There are people in this world that are happy to not talk very much and let other people do most of the talking. In fact, they feel uncomfortable when they have to talk too much. So there are probably quiet people in your group that are happy that you're there because you do a lot of the talking, you know? Just make sure you're giving everybody an opportunity to participate, taking a break every so often, you know, and just being quiet and just sitting there and let some silence hang, you know, before you pipe in and say something. How do you create a high intrigue campaign? My players like complex plots with double crosses and cons. Think white collar leverages, and I'm not sure how to weave all that together. Thanks. I mean, it's just a matter of planning, right? It's a matter of planning. Like, if I don't think I usually do high intrigue stuff like that. Like, I mean, there's a certain level of complexity to my campaigns, but additional complexity in a campaign and stuff for me just means I plan more. I plan it out more, and so I can keep track of all the little different things that are playing together, you know. And I think that's part of the key. Now, there's probably some in-depth guide of resource out there to how to do exactly what you want to do, but to me, at the end of the day, for something like that, it really just comes down to planning more and taking notes and keeping track of things. I would use OneNote for this, or maybe a Word document, depending on how I'm doing it, and then just, you know, keep track of it and plan things out, and then execute it and have a game plan, and then try to follow it as much as possible, you know, and then reevaluate as needed depending upon what your players do. Because remember that no matter how much you plan out the complexity of some sort of high intrigue game and campaign and stuff, your players' actions are going to affect things. They're going to affect what the NPCs do. They're going to affect what different factions do. And then you need to readjust and recalibrate things, you know, according to what they do. So just, I don't know, just kind of try to do that a little bit. And if you are not used to, so like, I don't do like high intrigue stuff a whole lot. So if I wanted to go that route, I wouldn't just go like dive into the deep end of the pool and be like, high intrigue, baby, woo! What I would do is I would add a little bit more intrigue than I'm used to and see how that goes. And then I get used to that and it's working. And I might learn some things too. And I'll add a little bit more. And I'll just, as things progress, I'll just add more intrigue and more complexity and more plot lines and different things. As I get more accustomed to it and I get better at it and I learn how to do it, and probably I'm going to be doing some research too to see if there's any information out on Google and crap like that, to see any information about this. The Alexandrian has a blog that has lots of in-depth information. You might check that out. There are lots of resources out there. But as I get better at it, I'll just integrate more and more of it, you know, as I get comfortable with it. So start small, integrate little by little, more and more. You don't have to go into the deep end. And if you know your players like it, so just work toward it, right? And if they're clamoring for that sort of thing and they're just like, more, you just gotta be like, yo, dude, calm down, guys. All right, this is not my forte. I'm warming up to it. I know you want it. I'm working on it. It's gonna take some time, okay? Because I gotta learn how to do it and stuff. So just, we'll get there, you know? That's my recommendation. Luke, your cat is judging your desk. Man, I got cats all over the place. They decided to like swarm on me tonight. Deadpool says, hello, Luke. Hello, Deadpool. I like Deadpool, by the way. You know what was interesting about those movies? Like the first Deadpool movie was really good. I thought it was really cool, but the second Deadpool movie was like, I don't know. It just didn't have the first one had for whatever reason. But anyway, Deadpool's a cool character. Anyway, the question is, hello, Luke. I'm running my first campaign. Soon, I, until recently, had a DMPC. Thank you for showing me the light on that. Oh, I probably had. I know I made a video about DMPCs. My question is what to do with it. Kill it. Just, I don't know, or have it leave or something. So when I played D&D with my daughter, she ran 2 characters and I ran 2 characters, and it worked fine. My characters mostly just interacted in combat to pad things out, you know. But mostly my daughter was playing the game. I was being the game master. But there came a point in time when I wanted to get rid of some of my DMPCs, and so I had, what was his name? His name was Nasser, I believe. They were down in the Underdark, and Nasser fell off a cliff or a ridge into an underground stream that swept him away. And I was like, my plan was, I'm getting rid of the DMPC. There we go. He got swept away. Woo, I don't gotta worry about it. And I figured my daughter's just gonna accept this, right? She's gonna be okay with this and be like, yay, okay, DMPC, whatever. Let's just keep adventuring. No. My daughter was like, no, Nasser. She loved him. I don't know why, but she loved him and thought that now she has to go rescue him. And so there we go. That was the next segment of that campaign, was the rescue mission. And Nasser had gotten swept off to a drow city. My daughter had to go to a Dwerger compound, fight her way through a bunch of Dwerger, get through that, and then there was passages through the Underdark, and finally she arrived at the drow city, and then there was this wizard's tower where Nasser was being held, and she had to go in there and rescue him and get him out, and then they finally got him out. Okay, and so it was fun. It was tons of fun. My purpose was just getting rid of the DMPC, but my daughter interpreted it as adventure, mission, and goal. This is the thing to do. And then she went to rescue him. So I'm like, okay, I guess we'll do that. And so that was, that was 2 big adventures to rescue him. So it was fun. It was fun. It wasn't what was planned. The point that I'm driving at is sometimes, and especially if you're doing this with adults, right? Sometimes, and even with children, geez, they'll understand too. You just explain to them and say, listen, I want to get rid of this DMPC because I don't want to run this PC anymore for reasons, right? So they're going to exit stage left. They're going to leave. I'm telling you this because, I want you to understand that this is an intentional thing that I'm doing. Like, you don't have to go try to rescue them, or like, if they die, don't raise them from the dead, please. Just let them be. Like, sometimes what I'm saying, it's okay to have an out of character conversation with your players about these sorts of things, because that way they'll understand that it was an intentional thing that you're doing, and they won't think that, oh, we're supposed to raise them from the dead, or, oh, we're supposed to rescue them. So you might just approach it as just talking to your players and saying, I'm going to get rid of this DMPC, and tell them your reasons or whatever. That way they're just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then you can, whatever story element reason you want to integrate, you can have happen, and then it's all taken care of, and you don't gotta worry from that point forward, hopefully. Do you always try to incorporate a PC backstory in every game, or only when it's campaign specific? Well, if you're talking about every game session, every time that we sit around the table, no, absolutely not. That's crazy. I wouldn't try to incorporate some aspect of their some NPC or some PC's backstory into every game session. No, I can't do that. Like, what I try to do is I try to incorporate an aspect of their backstory into the campaign. At some point, I'll try to get their backstory into the campaign to a certain extent. So, I can't tell you, I was going to give you an example, but it hasn't happened yet. It's in my thieves. You want to keep biting me? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, it's in my Thieves Abound campaign, and it hasn't happened yet. It's about to, but it hasn't happened yet, so I can't tell you the example. But I try to get some backstory stuff into all my campaigns. The thing is that I homebrew my adventures, I homebrew my campaigns. I almost never run a module. My Curse of Strahd game was like one of the few modules I've ever ran because I enjoy homebrewing my adventures. And when you're homebrewing your adventures, it's super easy to work in character backstories into your games, into your campaign. Now, if you're running a module, it gets harder, right? And it just depends what you're doing. The other thing, so I was once running. You're gonna just keep biting me all night, huh? Want me to pull your tail? How can we make this even? Want me to bite you back? Little punk. What he's doing is like bowing his head. He's like, knight me. There was this homebrew campaign I had once that it was a panda campaign. They were all humanoid pandas, and they were from a different world, a different dimension, right? And they had been, teleported into this new world, and they were trying to find their way home. And some of them had backstories, but their backstories all had to do with back in Panda World. And so like they're two completely different dimensions that don't link. So it's like, okay, how do you connect things from their backstory back in Panda World to the current world? So that made it pretty challenging, right? So sometimes there are some campaign premises or concepts perhaps that don't lend themselves super well to that. But so there are exceptions, obviously, but I try to do my best to incorporate something from their backstory. Now, you're in luck because we are literally planning. I have a couple of videos planned to come out. One of them I think is coming out in January, and the other is coming out January, and the other is coming out in February. And we're gonna be talking about backstories. We're gonna be talking about how to. The one video will be mostly focused for players about how to create a backstory, like the optimal things and what you want to put in your backstory. That'll be one video. And then the second video coming out will be specifically for game masters, how to incorporate elements from a character's backstory into your game, right? And so those videos will be coming out in January and February. So you can look forward to that. Looks more like Cat's Lair than DM Lair. Yeah, Ed, I know, it's crazy. These guys over here, they keep rubbing my camera, man. I got the camera set up perfectly, and then they just keep rubbing it and pushing it. There we go. My players never give me great backgrounds. Andrew, I got a solution for that. Dude. All right, this is what we're gonna do. I have a solution. If you want, this is the way to get your players to give you a backstory. I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. All right. So this is the dmlayer.com. We got tons of resources here for game masters. Okay. There's paid products, obviously. Oh, you can get 10% off too. There are paid products, obviously, and then we have a whole bunch of free resources as well. Like literally, we give you free resources you can use in your games. 5th edition adventure ideas. We have articles that help you with things, how to run skill challenges, how to run an evil campaign. Like we have tons of crap out here, and then there are even adventures and stuff you can find. Random encounter tables and stuff. We have tons of resources out here. But one of the things that we also have, and this is over on our store, and it is in the miscellaneous GM resources, I believe. Okay, our RPG backstory template right here. If you go to the dmlayer.com, you can get this RPG backstory template right here. I'm gonna try to put a link to it in the chat here. There it is. And if you go to this thing, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. This is one of our totally free resources. You can buy this. You can download this thing. And what it is, I mean, I'll literally show you it, but it's basically a list of questions, things that you can give this. It's literally a handout, a bunch of questions that you can give your players. And it is a guide, it is a template for them to create a backstory. And my team and I have specifically designed these questions, this questionnaire, this form, this template, to get the information from the players, so the player can fill this out, answer these questions, and there are two purposes for a backstory. One is to give the player information so they can roleplay their character better, and two, to give the game master information so they can take that backstory and incorporate elements of it into their campaign, little hooks and stuff, right? And so the forum is designed specifically to help with both of those functions of a PC backstory. So you can get this forum. It's not very long either. There aren't a whole lot of questions on it, but it'll get you the meat of what you need. And then what you do, but you don't just get the form and then email it to your players. If you get the form and email it to your players, like half of them will never complete the thing. Okay, this has been verified across like, you know, thousands of years of game mastering. Players will not create them. They won't finish them. All right. There is only one method that has been verified to 100% work 100% of the time. And that is when you are at your game session, instead of like killing orcs and stuff, you give your players this form and you say, we're all creating a backstory at the beginning of today's session, and we're not playing the game until we're done. So everybody please start filling this out. And what I'll do is I'll do this for session 0, right? Like I'll literally have a time in our session 0 for creating your character, making your backstory and stuff like that. So, but if you give them the thing when their butts are at your table, like they're a captive audience. They have no choice but to fill the thing out, you know, unless they're like playing games on their phone or something, which I suppose they could do. But this is a guaranteed way to get a backstory from your players that gives you, the game master, useful information, and it also helps the player get the stuff in there so they know they can better role play their character and stuff. Okay, so this is the way to do it. This is the way to do it, and it's 100% free. You can go get it right now. Okay. And while you're there, you can check out all of our other free resources up here and the free 5e resources button. We got a whole bunch of crap out here, and we have premium resources as well. We even have Foundry modules nowadays. Ooh. All right, let's go back to the Q&A. Oh, remember folks too, the pre-orders for our last Kickstarter, The Secret Art of Game Mastery, are closing in like 7 days. So this is your last chance to pre-order these books and get on in the action. So there should be a link in the chat. I'm sure Freight Train can throw a link to The Secret Art of Game Mastery pre-orders as well. But that is closing in 7 days. Pre-orders will lock and it's all done. So make sure you hook that crap up if you're interested. All right, where's some more questions? Andrew says, how do you make adventures meaningful to the players when they give you such little to work with on a backstory? So, it is a false premise to say that the only way to have an adventure be meaningful is to have it be based upon a character's backstory. That is a 100% false premise. Players find enjoyment and meaning in the game on a whole bunch of different levels. It isn't solely related to their backstories. Now, you might have some players who are just like, you know, like, I don't care about your campaign. I don't care about your plot. I don't care what you're doing over here. I don't care about any of that. All I care about is my backstory. Like, if it's in my backstory, it's me. Like, and this is all I care about. It's my story and it's personal. Okay. And I don't care what's going on over here. If it doesn't have to do with me, then I'm not interested. And the only thing that I care about is my backstory. And if you have players like that, that's a different story, right? But most players, most normal people, are motivated and interested in a variety of things. Their backstories being integrated into an adventure or the campaign, yeah, that's going to excite them, all right? But they're also going to be excited. Oh, I'll be right back. Oops, sorry. Thank you. Zoe, it's dinner time. Zoe. My wife brought my dog dinner, but she's totally asleep. Oh, she woke up. Let's watch her. She's smelling it right now. Let's watch her. Where's my prop? There we go. There we go. It's way out of focus, but what are you gonna do? Zoe, dinner time. Dinner time. Yeah, dinner time. There we go. There we go. She found her dinner. Whee! Okay, so most normal players are going to be motivated and care about a whole variety of things, and their backstory being in the game is only one of them. So you can make games and adventures that are amazing. Your players are going to love them, and they could have nothing to do with their backstories. Now, unless you have special players that are, whatever. So I think you can make amazing games, amazing adventures by doing things like, having other motivations, in them. Defeating bad guys, earning money and stuff, like getting treasure and magic items. Like, there are other things that motivate your players besides just backstories. Some players just like tactical combat. Other players love the social interactions and talking with NPCs. Other players love exploration and overcoming traps and finding secret doors and stuff like that. So there's a whole lot of elements in an RPG that appeal to players, and backstory elements are just one of them. And so if you're incorporating all of these wonderful things into your games and giving your players a variety of different situations and environments and encounters and things, then you're probably going to find that most players are going to be pretty darn happy with that, regardless of whether or not their backstory ever even shows up. So I have run campaigns where we can just watch my dog eat all night.
The secret art of game.
I have run campaigns where backstories almost never show up. Never. Like my Curse of Strahd campaign, I tried my best to incorporate some backstories, but again, Curse of Strahd, the players are trapped in a demiplane. They can't get back home, and people from home have a hard time coming to them. So how do you incorporate backstories into the game? Hard, right? But yet we still had an amazing time. We loved playing that game, and there was almost nothing from backstories in it. So you don't have to have backstories to make a campaign amazing. You don't. It is a false premise. All right. Thoughts on spell points over spell slots? I've been running them in my game, and so far good results. I've never used spell points in especially not my D&D games, and I don't know that I've played a system that uses spell points instead of spell slots. So if it's working for you and you guys enjoy it, then rock on. I think that I wonder to what extent spell points might affect certain classes. Like, for instance, is it a nerf to sorcerers? Because one of the advantages of a sorcerer is they can just, but no, the wizard still has to memorize spells. Now, if you use a Vancian spellcasting system, then that could potentially be more challenging to not have inadvertent effects, to the rule system and stuff. But I would say if it's working, you guys are having fun, then you're doing something right. I'm short, thank you, dude. Nice stream. Yeah, I've looked at that variant rule in the Dungeon Master Guide before for D&D. I not in depth, and I've never implemented it, but I've kind of peeked at it before. Oh, a DC 20? Yeah. Yes, that's true. So Dungeon Coach is doing the DC 20 system, and I've played it a few times. It's really, really, really cool. I definitely recommend it. Once he gets around to doing his Kickstarter, which is supposed to be early next year, according to what he tells me, and we've talked about, you'll probably be seeing me talk about it on my channel and crap too, because it's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah, he uses like mana and stuff like that. What would you recommend when reflavoring pre-written content? I want to make an orangutan PC and plan on using Bugbear as a base, but there's some stuff that doesn't fit. For instance, the face stuff. Well, then you tweak the stuff so like this is whether you're doing this as a PC template or whether you're doing it for a monster template, it's the same thing. You pick something that's close to what you want, and then you change. So if you just pick the mechanics and you just reflavor it, that means you don't change any of the mechanics. But some of the mechanics for your orangutan PC from a Bugbear template don't quite fit. So that means at that point you want to tweak some of the mechanics in your Bugbear. Now, I don't know what those would be, but whatever the things are that you feel like they don't fit, those are the things you tweak and you change out. Now, when you're doing this, my strong suggestion as a game master, and as a rational human being who sees way too much PC homebrew that's super overpowered, is when you're swapping things out and you're changing the mechanics, try to change out things with things that are comparable in power. There is a tendency to homebrew things that are extremely overpowered and that any rational game master is going to say no to. So just try to swap things out and tweak things in such a way that it stays balanced according to the original race template, the bugbear that you took it from. But ultimately, if you don't like some of the mechanics, you just gotta swap them out and play with it. You know, that's what it comes down to. How can I lower a stat for RP with the DM suggested point buy? Ask your DM. There's literally no way to, using point buy as written, there's no way to get your stat lower than 8. But if you want to have an intelligence of 3, barely like animal intelligence, then you got to talk to your game master. Now, does that mean that some of your other stats are going to be like above a 20 or something? I would probably not allow that, right? Because I know exactly the moment I do that, I know exactly what's going to happen. Somebody's going to be like, well, I'm the barbarian. I want my intelligence to be 3 so that my strength can start out as 24. It's like the ultimate min-maxer's paradise, right? And so I would not allow that, right? There's also, you also have to consider fairness and balance, because as a barbarian, if your intelligence is 3, you're mostly unaffected in the game. Like you were gonna fail all of your intelligence saving throws anyway. Like your intelligence going from 8 to 3 has almost no effect on the game, almost none. However, if your strength goes from 18 to say 24 or something like that, that has a massive, huge effect on the game. So we have to think about that type of thing as well, right? Because it would not be balanced to dump intelligence down to 3 and then pump something else up by the same amount. It doesn't work that way, right? So we got to think about that, especially if you're playing D&D 5th edition and with the idea of bounded accuracy in the game. Then going up to a strength of 24 is even more crazy, right? Because of the bounded accuracy mechanic. So that's something to consider. But at the end of the day, this is a question of talking to your game master, because if they say point buy and nothing else goes, well, then nothing else goes. But they might work with you, but you never know until you talk to them. I feel like the trick to convincing a game master to go along with an idea that you have is when you pitch it to them, don't pitch them some OP concept that they're going to shoot down out of the gate, right? Pitch them the concept of, hey, I want to dump a stat to 3 or 4 or something. Is that okay? They'll be like, probably. What else were you planning on doing? You know, but if you're just like, I want my strength to be 4, I want my intelligence to be 4, my strength to be 25, they're going to be like, no, that's not going to happen. So pitch them something reasonable and don't come out of the gate with a crazy concept. You have a far better chance of getting your game master to think about it as opposed to shooting you down right away. Have you ever had a flump in your game? I'm pretty sure I've had a flump in my game before. I must have. I'm thinking of RPing them like those green alien toys from Toy Story. I don't remember those. I remember Toy Story 1 was a really good show. I liked that movie. But I don't remember the green alien toys from that. So, I don't know. If you come up with a cool idea for role-playing them, just roll with it, man. You know, it'll be fun. I mean, flumps probably won't get killed. Well, players might kill flumps, except for flumps are kind of cute. So players are probably not going to kill them. So you'll probably have to stick with whatever you pick for role-playing them. I heard if players strongly prefer combat over social encounters, it's better if they just play computer games instead. Do you think that's the case? No, not at all. No. I think that's totally not true at all. It's still way more fun to play a game with other people socially, you know, in the same room. Like, there's just something about getting together and playing a game with other people in the same room that you cannot emulate online. You cannot emulate on computer games. You just can't. So I think there's something to be said about that. I also think that this depends on the group and maybe the game master, but there are things you can do in combat and stuff that are just more interesting and more creative than you can ever do in a computer game. You can't do some of this stuff in computer games. You can't come up with crazy ideas in computer games because if it's not programmed in, you can't do it, right? So I think there's lots of compelling reasons to play an RPG, even if your group really just wants to do combat and you love combat, you know. So no, I would definitely say that that's not true. You're better off playing a computer game. I love combat, and I combat's more fun in person with my friends than it is on a computer game. How open are you to third-party content? Look it. You know, here's the thing. It depends on what it depends on who makes the third-party content. You know, because there are some third-party creators that you can probably trust, like Cobalt Press. If I pick up Tome of Beasts, I know that I can trust them to. Those monsters are going to be more powerful than something in standard vanilla 5th edition, but that's good, and I want that. Okay, so it depends on who the third-party creator is. And what I know about them, what I know about, like, you know, can I trust their stuff to be balanced, or is it crazy unbalanced? Now, if you're just talking about any old third party, like any old homebrew that you find out there, you know, roaming the internets, then like, sure, a lot of it is probably not created by professional game designers. A lot of it is probably not balanced. It's just a dude who's doing something that's fun and he's throwing it out there. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that doesn't, you shouldn't just, you know, without any scruples, take and use anything and everything you find, right? But if it's from a company or a person that I know does a good job and is balanced and knows what they're doing, then I'm far more likely to be like, yay, woo, let's go, you know. But if it's just some random stuff from somewhere, then and my player's like, can I use this? I'll be like, well. Now, for me, it's a little different. I'm crazy busy. I don't have a lot of time to review a bunch of homebrew stuff. So if somebody brings some homebrew stuff to me, like, I'm literally gonna be like, look, dude, I don't have time to dig into the mechanics of this to see if it's balanced. I'm sorry, I don't. And I can't allow it in the game if it might be unbalanced. So for me personally, I probably am gonna be much more likely to not allow it unless it comes from a source that I trust. Now, other people who have more time and inclination to like dig into that are welcome to do that, you know. All right, let's find some more questions here. You started playing Pathfinder 2E relatively recently. Yeah, when did we start playing that? I think we started playing that around April of this year or something like that. I forget exactly. You got a list of hints specific to this system somewhere? No, I don't have a list of hints specific to the system. I don't think so. I think probably one of the best videos on my channel about Pathfinder 2 was when I had Mark Seifter on the stream, and he talked about, I had him on the stream actually a couple times. One was about monster building, and the other one was about maybe it was the same stream, but there was one where we were talking about making encounters and stuff, and we were talking about, I think the stream was on the topic of people who are transitioning from 5th edition to Pathfinder 2 and things to keep in mind or something. We were talking about how to build encounters and stuff like that, and he gave some amazing information that really helped me in designing my adventures for Pathfinder 2. So I would refer you to those live streams if you want to find information on that stuff. But honestly, the vast majority of my content it'll often say D&D, but it's usually stuff that can be used for almost any game system, especially fantasy game systems. So I brand things a certain way, because if you don't, videos don't get surfaced and it's a waste of my time to make the content almost. So I brand things a certain way for recognition, for reasons, because you have to do it, otherwise it'll just get tanked. So even though it's branded that way, it's usually generally system agnostic information. Not always, but a lot of times it is. Yeah. You like that? All right, more questions. Reverend says, love your skits, never fails to get a lol. Don't lick the plate. What are you doing? That's a human plate, not a cat plate. Little punk. Thanks, dude. I'm glad you like the skits, man. All right, let's go find some questions. I'm going back in time. Throw questions in the chat. Oh, we have a giveaway going on, ladies and gentlemen. Join the giveaway. You'll get a signed copy of Into the Fae, the level 1 to 5 adventure module I wrote, or you can get DM Lair store credit, where you can get tons of amazing adventures and other cool things and books and stuff for your games. Dungeon Master Dude says, will you be making some stuff like Into the Fae for Pathfinder 2nd Edition? And if so, when would it likely be coming out? So I'll tell you what we are doing for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. So we have Lair Magazine, our issues of Lair Magazine that are coming out, like if you sort of the newest ones. The newest ones are compatible with both Pathfinder 2 and 5th edition, and you can tell because they have little fancy logos on them. Now, a lot of the older ones are not, but we started sometime this last year, we started doing everything for both editions. So you can get Lair Magazine for both editions. We also have our Foundry VTT modules. You can grab these things. These things are compatible for both 5th edition and Pathfinder 2 as well. So that's the content that we're creating for Pathfinder 2. Now, are we going to go and do something similar to Into the Fae? Now, Into the Fae was the specific question. That's the level 1 to 5 adventure module that we're giving away a book for in the giveaway today. Now, are we going to do something like this for Pathfinder 2? So this is now what we're getting into is we're getting into a business question, right? A business question. Now we start to have to think about numbers, and we have to start thinking about business stuff, right? So for us to create Pathfinder 2 content is a lot of effort. Tons of effort. And we have to think about opportunity cost as well. And we have to think about how many customers are we going to have? If we make an entire book of Pathfinder 2 content, well, we have to think, okay, now how many people are going to buy this, right? Now, if we make the same book for D&D 5th edition, how many people are going to buy it? And we have to think about that. And so we have to be very strategic in the projects that we do and the projects that we don't do. Because if we don't, we might end up sinking tons of development time and cost into creating a book. It doesn't sell very many copies, and we take a huge loss on it. And for a business our size and what we're doing, that could tank us completely. So we have to be very strategic about what we do and we don't do. So right now, we're doing Lair Magazine for Pathfinder 2, and then the Foundry VTTs for Pathfinder 2. We're going to be having a Kickstarter coming out early next year, Lairs and Legends 2, and that is only going to be for 5th edition. It's only going to be for 5th edition. We made the decision that we're not sure if we have built up enough of a Pathfinder 2 customer base yet to viably do an entire translation conversion for essentially about probably 600 pages of content from 5th edition to Pathfinder 2. Crazy amount of time invested in that. Can we do that conversion and actually sell enough to make it worth our while? Or are we going to have a massive cost and go into the red on that? And so those are the sorts of questions we have to ask ourselves, when we're considering whether we're going to create a product for this, that, or the other. This is one of the things that, for instance, when you had in 2008, when the car companies were all in trouble, one of the things that the car companies did, and this was especially true for General Motors, is they had too many brands. They were doing too many things. They had Chevrolet, they had Oldsmobile, they had Buick, they had Saturn. I don't know, they probably had some other ones that I can't think of. Cadillac, that was their luxury and stuff. And they probably had more. And the thing is that for every single one of those cars, you had to have a plant to put the thing in, and you had to have people and shifts and stuff, and every time you have a new product like that, there's a certain amount of overhead attached to it, and part of the thing too is that they had so many brands, they were cannibalizing their own business too, because a person is like, well, they have all this overhead and they're like, well, do I want to buy an Oldsmobile or do I want to buy a Buick or do I want to buy a Chevrolet? I mean, they're gonna buy a General Motors car because they're loyal, let's say, right? They have to choose which one they're gonna get. You know, they're gonna get one of the now if General Motors kills the Oldsmobile, which they did, right? And now a person's got to choose between a Chevrolet and a Buick, you know, or a GMC or something, you know, and then they're gonna choose one of them. But by killing a brand, you can get rid of all of that overhead, right? So that's not exactly an apples to apples comparison to like what I'm talking about necessarily. But my point is that there's a ton of overhead and stuff for us to do a different game system. Like if I were to make, you know, Pathfinder 2 or make a Dungeon Crawl classic conversion or to make it for Castles and Crusades, like there's lots of overhead and effort. And then I have to think about customer acquisition, you know, which is extremely expensive. So we have to, how long is it going to take us after we start making Pathfinder 2 stuff to start acquiring enough customers to make it worth our while, you know, to take away the opportunity cost, right? Because like that's a lot of time we're spending making Pathfinder 2 content. We could make more 5th edition content, say, or different types of content. And then we already have a 5th edition customer base, so that might sell a whole lot better and be a much better investment of your time and effort and money, right? So, but we're investing in a Pathfinder 2. You got to give that time to get a customer base there to even get back the money you've already spent on it, which we probably haven't even recouped yet, you know, because it takes such a long time to do that. And so those are the considerations you have to think about, you know. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. There you go. A long spiel. That's a rough question. So if I were an actual company spokesman working for a normal company, this is what my response would have been. You know, that's an excellent question, an excellent idea. I'll have to get back to you on that. You know, I'll go talk to some people and see what we can figure out, you know, but right now I'm not sure. I'll have to get back to you on that, but that's a great suggestion. That's what a PR person would have told you. Game Master Dude says, yes, I get Lair magazine already, and it's great for my Pathfinder 2e game. Sweet. Happy to hear you like it, dude. Happy to hear you like it. If I win the signed copy, can I send my copy in for you to sign and give away? I don't understand that question at all. How about if you win and I email you, we figure out what you're trying to say there? If your players prefer roleplay combat over roleplay, is Pathfinder 2e a better system? I don't know that I would say that it's a better system because of that specifically. I will say that I think that Pathfinder 2 has better combat and more interesting combat. I enjoy the combat a whole lot more. It's more exciting. It's more, look at 5th edition combat is usually just not super interesting in my opinion, especially as you get into higher levels. Oh man, it is a slog. Now, Pathfinder 2, though, things just seem to be a whole lot more exciting in combat. I can't put my finger on it for you. There's this thing in my gut that's like, because if a monster because you don't have bounded accuracy, monsters that are several levels more higher than the players are have a good chance of critting. Because you can crit when you roll 10 or above their armor class, so they have a good chance at critting. And when they crit, wow, it can get dicey fast, and you're just like, oh my gosh, everything just starts to like, it just gets super exciting and dramatic, you know, when these things start happening. Whereas in 5th edition, it doesn't happen a whole lot. You're like, oh, I critted, whatever, you know, it's not like it did a whole lot, you know. So I don't know, there's a lot of stuff in Pathfinder 2 that makes it more interesting. Well, there's some additional complexity because of all the conditions and stuff like that, you know. So I would definitely say combat is more interesting in Pathfinder 2, absolutely. So if your group does prefer combat in their tabletop RPGs, then yeah, I think Pathfinder 2 is a solid choice. Now, that said, you can also get a lot of amazing social interactions, the talkie bits and stuff in Pathfinder 2 as well. Like, I love that stuff, and I will always include that stuff in my game. And I have found there to be, so from running 5th edition, I still run 5th edition, and now I do Pathfinder 2. Like, there is no disparity between the amount of talkie social interactions that I can put into both systems. Like, Pathfinder 2, just because it does a better job at combat, in my opinion, doesn't mean that it lacks the ability to run social interactions. That's what most people call role-playing, the talkie stuff. It doesn't lack the ability to do that. And I can implement that in my Pathfinder 2 games just as easily as I did in my 5th edition games. In fact, one of the easiest ways, if you want to have more roleplay, talkie bits, right? Social interactions in your games, the easiest way to have more of that is to just get rid of the rules and ignore the rules. The more mechanics and rules you have, the harder it's going to be to have meaningful social interactions and talkie bits in your game. Get rid of the rules. Just whoop, 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 get them out. Bye-bye. Sure, we'll have social interactions every so often, whether I'm running 5th edition or Pathfinder 2, I'll call for a check. Give me an athletics check. Well, that doesn't make sense. Give me a persuasion check. Give me a diplomacy check, right? So every so often, right? But for the most part, rules just get ignored when we're having social interactions, because that's how you encourage social interactions and the back and forth and talking and stuff, and being in character and stuff, you know? So whether I'm in 5th edition or whether I'm Pathfinder 2, if I'm doing social interactions, the rules take a back seat and I mostly ignore them, and we just play things. And I'll ask for skill checks every so often, you know? But so far, I'm gonna tell you guys, man, so there was this, when I started playing Pathfinder 2, I'm gonna tell you, there was a point in time where I was just learning Pathfinder 2, and there was this tension and frustration with it because it's new to me, right? And then I started to get the hang of it, and I kind of knew I thought I knew what I was doing, but then I was like, certain things happened. I was like, I still don't know what I'm doing. Oh my gosh, you know? And so then I was like very aware that I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm figuring it out, right? And now, there was a point in time that I was like, you know what, I want to just go back to 5th edition. It's so much easier, you know what I mean? Because I was still had that tension, right, of learning it. But now I'm at the point where I have done it enough I'm still not perfect at it by any means, but I feel comfortable enough that now I can enjoy some of the benefits of the system, you know, because I've learned it enough and I feel comfortable enough. I still don't know everything right, but I'm comfortable enough in it that I now am enjoying the benefits of it, you know, and I prefer it a lot more than 5th edition. I have so much more fun now in my Pathfinder 2 games with combat and everything. It's so much more fun finding monsters. It's just so much more fun than 5th edition D&D. And now to be fair, part of that I think is that 5th edition D&D, I've been playing it for like a decade now, something like that. I've been playing it for not a decade, because I think it was made in 2014. But almost a decade I've been playing 5th edition D&D, and it's just kind of like, man, it gets old. It gets old after a while, you know? It's like you want something new and fresh. So I think there is part of that, I think, that makes me want to play something else. I think there's another part of me that's still kind of bitter about the OGL crap, not gonna lie. So there's part of that going on inside me. But, you know, and they're going to be making new core rulebooks in 2024, but it's apparently not a new edition, so we have nothing interesting to look forward to. It's the same old crap, if you believe what they tell you. So I don't know. I think it's just, I'm tired of the same system for the last decade almost. And so I think there's a big appeal to doing something different, you know, and I think that's part of what I'm enjoying about Pathfinder 2 is I'm doing something different. And now I've learned it well enough that I feel I can relax a little bit and just enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Mo, thank you for the super chat, dude. I appreciate that. Mo says the monthly Foundry modules are amazing, Luke. Just added the Raiders of the Meshkin Wastes to my Forgotten Realms campaign, and it was an easy plug and play for the Anorok Desert. Keep them coming. Sweet, dude. Thank you. So Mo is talking about, so we have over on our site, over on the dmlair.com, you can get our Foundry packs, and he's talking about this one right here, the Raiders of the Meshkin Wastes Foundry module. And here's some, it's got screenshots and crap. You can go check it out, whatever. But basically, yeah, they're totally plug and play. Everything is done. Everything. You have the lighting, the journals are there, like the monsters are there. Everything is done for you. And this one has new monsters in it. Like, yeah, we have a company doing these for us, and they are amazing. They are kicking butt. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with how these are turning out. Mo, by the way, he helps us. I don't know if you'd call it play test them, but I think it is play testing to a certain extent. But once the module is created, Mo goes in and he reviews them and he pokes around and he makes sure that, you know, if there's any mistakes that we can correct them, make sure the modules are up to the proper quality standards and stuff. So you could probably call that play testing it to a certain, in a certain way of looking at it and stuff. So Mo helps us do that, and very, very appreciative for that too, because that is crazy helpful. So anyway, thank you, Mo. All right, Mo is also next in line to play in my game, my Ancient Dragon game too. So once we get a slot open. All right. Oh god. Just the Craft says, question: for D&D 5e, I've been DMing for roughly 5 years now, and all of our games start at 15th level and go to 20 plus. Why do you think most people don't play high level play? I think there's a couple different reasons. One, the most obvious reason is that most groups don't last that long. Like, most groups fizzle out after a few game sessions or a few months of playing. That's just the way it works. So, and most groups start at level 1 or level 3, more than likely. And so you're just never going to get to high level play. I think that's one of the reasons. That's probably the biggest reason people don't play at high levels. Is probably just the group doesn't last that long. That'd be my guess, right? I think the other thing is that modules, there are very few modules that are out there that go up to the higher levels. Now, we publish high level adventures in Lair magazine, and Lairs and Legends has high level adventures in it and stuff, but there's only a couple modules, I think, that Wizards of the Coast has put out that even go to high levels. You have Dungeons of the Mad Mage, and then there's a new one that they just released that I had heard about, but I don't remember what it was because I don't really follow their products anymore. And I think somebody said went into the higher levels as well. So you don't have very many modules that go to the high levels. Groups don't last that long. You're already starting to run into reasons already that like 90% of groups never get into the high levels. There's not content for it, and they never make it that far. So I think those are two big questions. Those are two big reasons. And then the other reason probably is that, so Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition does a very bad job at supporting the game master. And what I mean by that is the game is easy to play if you're a player. It's less easy to run if you're a game master. When you get to the higher levels, there are certain spells and abilities and things that just make it more challenging for you as a game master. And you get spells like Forbiddance, or even when you get to things like Wish and other very powerful spells that can really, really affect things. Summoning spells and things that really make it tough for game masters to run games at high levels. And especially if you're homebrewing content and stuff, it can just be super challenging. And so I think that it takes a special sort of group to play at higher levels. You need the right players. There almost needs to be this social contract among your players that we understand that we have all of these crazy powerful abilities at high levels. There's a segment of those abilities that can essentially ruin the game for the game master and do things that really screw them over, make them do extra work and stuff like that. So as players, we agree not to do those things, right? And you need players who will help you out in that regard. And if you have those players, you can run amazing games and have tons of fun. If you don't have those players and they're doing the little things that are crazy overpowered or unbalanced or negate all of the work you've done, you know, to design a campaign or an adventure or something, and if you have the wrong players, then you find yourself like, I just planned an adventure. I made an adventure for these guys and they did this, that, and the other, and the adventure is over in 30 minutes at the game table. It took me 6 hours to make the adventure, and they basically skipped over it through some shenanigans and spells and stuff, and I don't even know why I spent my time making that adventure. Because so these are the types of things that can happen to a game master that are extremely frustrating, right? Especially if you're a game master who prepares your game sessions, right? And so you need to have a group of players that won't do certain things, I think. And if you have those players, you can have an amazing time at higher levels. But if you don't, as a game master, it can be super frustrating and you want to just give up, you know? I think that's another reason. I do have a video that talks about why no one plays high level D&D. I released it about a month or so ago, and I have more reasons in there if you want to go look at it. Mo says hopefully 1 D&D or 5.5 takes a swing at fixing level 13 plus and the CR system. I hope they do, but it seems like they're spending a lot of time creating new player options. And if they're spending all that time creating player options, there's this part of me that wonders, are they going to fix all of the other broken stuff to make Dungeon Masters' lives easier? Like, if we consider that Wizards of the Coast really wants to get rid of Game Masters to begin with, they want everything to go to online play, and they want to essentially have, they want people to be able to play without Game Masters. That will be a thing. If that's the road they're going, you have to wonder, to what extent are they really going to try to fix those things that make Game Masters' lives easier if they want to get rid of Game Masters anyway? So you have to ask that question, right? And I don't know the answer to that. I hope they fix that stuff, you know, because I think that fixing level 13 plus high level play and fixing the challenge rating system are like two of the things that will make Game Masters' lives so much easier when running D&D 5th edition. New Game Masters, like, I've been running it for a while, I know what to do, I don't care. You know, you can leave your CR system a shambling mess, I'll still figure it out. Now, will I still have times that I'm frustrated? Yes, I will, but I'll be okay. But my concern is for the new Game Master, right? The person who just picked it up. Like, we had somebody at the beginning of the stream who said that she had just started running D&D like 3 weeks ago and she was loving it, right? Well, what does she do? She doesn't have a decade of experience to like adjust things. If the CR system doesn't work for her, she's screwed, man. And she could have a game session and an encounter that blows up and everybody dies or something, you know? What's she supposed to do? So like, I don't care about, like, I care about the experienced Game Masters, but I'm not concerned about them because they know what to do. I'm concerned about the new Game Masters coming into the hobby and stuff. And when they have horrible experiences with the game system, they're gonna bounce off, you know, and just give up and stuff. So you want their experience to be good and positive, right? And not, you don't want a new Game Master coming in and being like, well, I designed the encounter. It was supposed to be an easy encounter, but my players all died. What did I do wrong? And then maybe they never run the game again. You know, you don't want that for new Game Masters. You want them to have a positive experience so that they're excited and their excitement continues and they keep playing. You know, that's what you want for them. All right, looking for more questions. How can I lean into my character's vices and flaws without causing too much trouble for the party? So Profit Roll, the number one thing you can do is make sure that when you pick your vices and your flaws, that they are things that when role played don't cause problems for the party. That's what you got to do. So like, if your vice and flaw is like, all right, like, I am a crazy klepto thief and I'm gonna steal anything not nailed down, that's gonna cause problems more than likely, right? If your like flaw is that you tell little small lies here and there, you know, maybe not that big of a deal, right? If your crazy flaw is that you just get plastered, right? There's a way to roleplay that doesn't really cause any problems, right? So there are some things that will cause problems, other things that won't. So make sure that when you pick your vices and flaws, you pick things that you know and that you have an idea of how to role play in such a way that it doesn't cause people problems. That is the solution. Figure it out before you pick them and have a game plan. All right, looking for more questions. Looking for more questions. If you had a question and I did not answer it, please feel free to put it in the chat once again, and we will see if we can answer it. Don't forget, guys, too, we are doing a giveaway tonight. Giving away a copy of Into the Fae. It'll be signed by me. If you don't want it, that's fine, because you can also get a DM Lair store credit and get lots of other cool things on our store. Also, if you did not back or did not pre-order The Secret Art of Game Mastery, time is running out. We literally are closing down pre-orders in about a week. There's a timer at the beginning here. It's ticking down. You have about 7 days, 1 week, if you want to pre-order The Secret Art of Game Mastery to do it. Otherwise, you're going to miss out. Get some awesome books to help you run your games. So there you go. There's links in the chat and crap where you can go look at it and see if it's something you would like. Whee! M Short says, I want it. What? Okay. We can help. Yeah, I can talk now. Hello, everyone. I love your kitty. I could not say anything at the time they were there. Oh, did you just like join and then you had a timer where they don't let you say anything for 10 minutes or something? Yeah, sorry. Well, we do have some still here. We still have these two guys are here. Squirty Pie's down there. All right. Gabriel, you want to give the cat some treats? We're gonna give our kitties some treats in honor of Gabriel. Got crap in my throat, guys. I'm dying here. Come on, move your butt. All right, here we go. It's time. It's time. They're gonna start swarming. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Ori. There we go. Got the cat strike going on today. Got the cat strike going on. Like cute fluffy sharks. Yes, Killer Kitty. Exactly. Orange is like, there's no food in the bed. Why is there no food in the bed? A double helping of cat loaf? Yes. This is what they're waiting for. Where's the dog gone? The dog is sleeping. Yo, dog is sleeping. She had her dinner. Now she's just like, I'm done. She's out. She's gonna be out cold until I take her to bed. Andrew says, is Pathfinder 2e too complicated to learn on your own? We don't have anyone in our group that's played it before. No, dude. Pathfinder 2e is, if you've played D&D 5th edition and you grab Pathfinder 2e books, you're going to, a lot of the stuff is gonna, it's kind of like, look at, I speak Spanish, okay? I don't speak Portuguese, but I'll tell you what, when I see Portuguese written or when I hear it spoken, it sure sounds super familiar. It's like one hop of a language over, you know? And that's kind of like 5th edition to Pathfinder 2. Like if you know how to play D&D 5th edition and you pick up Pathfinder 2 stuff, a lot of it's very, very similar. Same concepts and stuff, little tiny changes here and there. You're gonna pick it up very fast. Now, conceptually, you'll pick it up pretty fast. It's still gonna be rough because of the changes and you're gonna have to get used to it. You're gonna spend some time, like, you know, with a little bit of pain with the learning curve, you know, but no, man, it's like, okay, let me put it this way. If you know how to shoot like a hunting rifle and you pick up an AR, you're gonna figure out the AR pretty quick. Same basic idea. Okay, you'll figure it out. And I'll tell you what, the 3 action system is amazing. I cannot tell you how much I love Pathfinder 2's 3 action system. It is so much better than having a movement and then an action and then maybe a bonus action. It's like I cannot tell you how much time we waste in games because a player is like, yeah, I attack. Okay, cool. Do you want to move? Nah, I'm gonna stay here. Okay, cool. Are you done? Oh, wait. Maybe, is there a bonus action I can use? Flips through book. No, you know, I don't think I have any bonus actions I can use. He said, yeah, I'm done. This happens like almost every 5th edition game I play, where you're just kind of like, are you done yet? Are you done yet? In Pathfinder 2, it's so easy because it's like, you always use your 3 actions. Like, almost always you're using your 3 actions. And so the players plan it out. My players at least have it planned out. They know exactly what they're gonna do with all 3 of their actions, except for one who still always takes forever on their turn. Almost always. But most of them are like, yep, boom, boom, boom. And then once they got the 3 actions done, they're done. It's easy. And you don't gotta keep prompting them of like, are you gonna move? Are you done yet? A bonus action? I love the 3 action system. It simplifies the game. It feels like it makes the game go faster. Oh, somebody's asking me to tell the story about the player with an arcane eye in the dungeon. This is related to what? Marco N said something? How do you prepare for a player that uses their familiar to scout? I want the other players to have fun exploring. That's a great question, Marco. So, and that's a problem too, because if you have a familiar who scouts out the entire dungeon, like they turn into a spider and then crawl along the ceiling, reasonable, and they're probably not gonna get caught. Or they turn into a mouse who can squeeze under all the doors, you know, and they scout out the entire dungeon. Or you have, I had a wizard once who cast Arcane Eye and had the Arcane Eye invisible, flying through the entire dungeon location. And so the problem with that is, here's the thing. Tactically, it makes sense. You scout out the location, you know where things are, and you go get stuff done. If you were in on a SWAT team, or if you're like stacked up, if you're like in the military and stuff, you want to have that reconnaissance. You want to know what you're doing, right? Because it'll help you accomplish your objective. It's very, very intelligent, very, very smart. But in a game like D&D or Pathfinder 2, in a tabletop role-playing game, scouting out the entire area with like a familiar or an arcane eye or something can very easily ruin the game experience for many of the players at the game table. Because instead of the excitement of going through the dungeon and finding out what's behind every door and like trying to find the one thing but not sure where it is and stuff like that, you know, or where are the hostages and where's the big bad and where's the loot, where's the treasure, like there's that excitement and of going and traveling through a dungeon. There's a reason we run games in dungeons with doors and stuff, because there's the unknown, the excitement, the mystery, you know, and you're exploring and then you talk to somebody and there's a combat and you're exploring and you got the 3 pillars going on. You got a lot of amazing stuff going on and everybody's actively involved, if they want to be, during the entire game at all times. When you have somebody with a familiar who's just scouting out an area or an entire dungeon, this is what you have. 4 players sitting there like this for about a half an hour. And then you have 1 player, okay. My mouse goes under the next door. What does he see? Dungeon Master does the read aloud text or paraphrases what's in the room. Okay, cool. My mouse goes into the chest. What do I see? Dungeon Master reads all the loot off. Okay, cool. All right, I go to the next room. All right, you're in the next room. What do I see? Oh, there's like 3 orcs and stuff in there. Okay, cool. I want to go into the closet. Okay. Look, you have 1 player playing the game, going from room to room to room, and the Dungeon Master is just like reading off what's in each room and doing all of this stuff. So you have, this could go on for a half an hour plus in your game, right? Where you have 1 player playing the game and everybody else is just kind of not. And not only that, but you also, all of the mystery, suspense, and tension is just kind of like, well, we know everything that's in the dungeon now, you know, so a lot of that suspense and mystery is gone for us. So from a gaming perspective, it doesn't make for the most enjoyable game sessions in my experience. It can be just, it can take the whole thing and just make it kind of like meh. So if you have a player who's doing that, my best suggestion I can give you is to literally talk to the entire group and explain kind of what I've explained. I would let a player do it once so that everybody can experience what it's like. This is something that I often do in my games. When I have a player who's planning on doing something that I know is no, I don't know what happened, you guys. I have like 2 numbers that keep calling me. They're like, they're hotels. They want to sell me like vacation packages or something. I swear, I'm just gonna start answering these things and yelling at them. I'm at the point now where I want these idiots to stop calling me. You know, I don't care if you're from Holiday Inn, IHG. I don't care if you're from Hilton. I'm not buying your vacation package, dude. Go away. All right. Somebody could pass that message along to me. Stop winning contests you never entered. I know, that's what it is. Well, they always started out this way. They're like, hey, they're trying to ask you a survey. It's like, oh, I'm here for blah blah blah. I'm just have a quick 5-question survey. No, you don't have a 5-question survey. Your 5-question survey is designed to start me on a funnel, and I know that. So shut up. I just hang up on them usually. Okay, so a lot of times what I do when a player wants to do something in the game that I know is not good and is probably going to make the game less enjoyable for everybody else is first, I want to let them try it. And if I'm right and it does make the game pretty unenjoyable, I want everyone to experience how crappy that made the game. Because if I'm going to disallow it in the future, I want them to have experienced why. I want them to have sat there and been like, wow, that wasn't fun after all. For instance, if you have, let's say you have a cleric who wants to cast Forbiddance on the entire dungeon, which I don't think actually should work that way. I think when you're casting Forbiddance, you need to walk over the entire area that you're casting it on. That's my interpretation of it. I don't think you can just be at the outside of the dungeon and cast it and have it go into the dungeon. I think you need to, over the course of casting it, which is like takes 10 minutes or something like that, over the course of casting it, you need to be walking around sprinkling your incense and stuff over the entire area that you're casting Forbiddance on. That is my interpretation of it now. So this doesn't work, but if they were to be able to cast Forbiddance outside the dungeon and have it extend throughout the entire dungeon, right? And if it worked that way, what I would want to have happen, I would want to allow it once, let them kill every demon in that dungeon, and then play out the rest of the dungeon so that the other players, everybody can kind of experience how absolutely mind-numbingly boring it is when you can just walk through a dungeon room to room and just scoop up all the loot and stuff and then have it be over and be like, well, okay, I guess we won, but was that as fun as we thought it was gonna be? Like, I want them to experience that, right? Because if they experience that, you know, then when you bring up the point of not wanting to do that in the future, they'll understand a little bit more why, you know. Okay. I think that answers the question, kind of. I have an idea for a product for GMs who play in person. Should I go through the patent process first before trying crowdfunding like Kickstarter? No. Patent process, no. I don't think so. Okay, don't take my advice right here as definitive, because I'm not a subject matter expert at all on the patent process. I know almost nothing about it. Okay. But what I've heard is that it takes a long time to get through that process, first of all. Second of all, what I've heard is that once you file a patent, part of filing for a patent is you have to include schematics and design of the product that you're trying to get a patent for. And what I've heard, again, this is what I've heard, is that once you file that and put that out there, other knockoff companies in certain parts of the world that specialize in creating knockoff products now have access to the schematics for your product. And before your patent is ever approved, they are already creating that product, probably before you can. So this is just stuff I've heard. Okay, it may be wrong, I don't know, but what I've heard is because of that working like that, a lot of companies now will just start making the stinking product, because if they file for a patent, they're literally giving their competitors the ability to start making it before they might even get it to market and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know any more than I just told you, and I think it's probably just hearsay and crap Luke's read on the internet. But if you actually want to make money on something, and you got a good idea and you can crowdfund it and make it work, like that's probably a faster path to making money, because patents, I think, can take a long time to get approved, and I think it costs a lot of money maybe to file for them. I'm not sure, and I don't know a whole lot about it. But anyway, I would probably just crowdfund the stupid thing if you can. Call it a day, and then at least you get your product out there and you're making some money on it. Like people are gonna infringe upon your people in like different countries that do the infringement crap. I'm trying to avoid mentioning the countries that do that, but you all know what I'm talking about. Those countries are going to do it regardless of whether you have a patent or not, so why bother? I don't know. All right, I'm gonna get some coffee really quick. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Oh yeah, doors, by the way, the previous question about scouting, like a familiar scouting or having an arcane eye scouting, doors can stop some of that, you know. But like I said, if you're familiar as a mouse who can squeeze through almost anything, or a small spider, you know, there are still problems. The country in question that Luke referenced is Thay. Yes, the Red Wizards of Thay. Yes, that's what I was talking about. How much would you charge for 1 hour of your time as a consultant about a TTRPG project coming to finalization and Kickstarter planning? Probably $250. $250. That's probably what I charge. There you go. You can email me at info@thedmlair.com. Nobody will. But I have run a whole bunch of Kickstarters that have made lots of money, so I do know a thing or two about that. What is the best way to direct or handle an evil party? Okay, so I have an entire video on my channel about running evil campaigns and evil parties. I have a video on we also have stuff on thedmlair.com. Like if you go to thedmlair.com, I have an article up here. If you go to free 5e resources and then you click the Game Master how-to articles, I have one up here for running an evil campaign. So you can read it as the article. I have an entire video about it as well if you want to listen to the video on my channel, but I have the article as well. So the trick to running an evil campaign is that you set some ground rules. You literally set some ground rules. All right, you have a code of conduct. Just because you're evil players doesn't mean you backstab. You still work together. You are a group that works together, which means you stay together as a group. You do not do PvP or backstabbing. Yes, you are evil, but you're evil people working together. You set those ground rules, that avoids almost all of the issues in an evil campaign. Make sure you set limits to the evil. Like, okay, there are some sorts of evil that people are not gonna be comfortable with. Like, you know, if you're like raping, people are probably not gonna be okay with that. So you gotta put some limits on the types of evil that you're actually gonna have in your game. The other big thing is that an evil campaign a lot of times is a character-driven campaign. Character-driven. So instead of like the game master deciding what the plot is going to be and the structure is going to be. For an evil campaign, many times the players are going to decide what they want to do, what their goals and stuff are, and then the game master is going to design adventures around that. Now, you can still design your adventures for an evil campaign much the same way that you would design your adventures for a good campaign. You have there is a location here that has a goal or objective that the party wants, and then they go inside and they get the thing, you know. So you can design your game in a lot of ways, the adventures themselves, in the same way that you would if it were a good campaign. Anyway, I think the first two things I mentioned, the code of conduct, is the key to having an evil campaign actually work and not implode upon itself. Because there's this stupid idea out there that if you are running an evil campaign, that means that the players are all at each other's throats. They're all trying to backstab each other and they want to kill each other, and none of them are working together, and you just have absolute chaos and mutiny and just death and destruction in the party itself. There's that idea out there, and you have to abolish that idea and get rid of that. Otherwise, your evil campaign is going to last 2 game sessions and everybody's going to be pissed at each other, and half of your players are going to hate the other half, and some will leave and they'll never come back and play ever again, potentially, right? So you got to get rid of that concept of like backstabbing each other and stuff, because, you know, it's not probably going to work and people are going to like it. Maybe they will, but it's a big risk. Space Goblin, hello! That Canadian girl. Well, hello, that Canadian girl. You're missing an A in your name. Just thought I'd let you know. Have you ever had your players fight themselves, as in like their reflections? Any tips on running a session like that? Not exactly. I did have for one of my games, I forget which one. I think it was my Sword Coast Guard game. It was my Sword Coast Guard game. There was one game session where I literally had an NPC group that was very similar in makeup to the characters themselves. Like, there was a paladin and a paladin, and a wizard and a wizard, and the bad wizard would always cast polymorph on somebody and turn them into a T-Rex, which is the exact same thing the party's wizard would always do. And so I made like NPCs that use the exact same like strategies and tactics and like abilities and stuff intentionally, just to have them kind of fight themselves, kind of, you know. And then one of my players, Trevor, recognized this and he said, "Hey, we're fighting ourselves." So I have done that before. It's just kind of like a fun little thing to do, and I thought it was cool. It was complicated to do because I had to run essentially 5 enemies that all had different stat blocks. So it was not easy at all. I would not do that too often. But for like a little one-off thing, I think it was fun to do. What is on your index cards that you have on your DM screen during your live play campaign? What information is on it? Oh, the little index cards, that's the initiative tracking. So I set up my game. This is how I track initiative. It's super cheap. It doesn't cost you any money. You have your game master screen, and then you have a little index card, and you just fold it into a tent like this. And then you write the player's name on one side, and then the player's name on the back side, and then you track initiative that way. And then that's super easy. But I don't just use it for initiative tracking. I also have their perception modifier and their stealth modifier or something. I have a couple things on the back of their cards as well, so that I don't have to keep asking them what certain things are. Perception always comes up, and you have to roll secret perception rolls a lot in Pathfinder 2, and so I have those written in the back of that card. And the other thing I do with the cards as well is, like, if my players are like, okay, so this is one player, this is player A, player B, player C, and player D, I'll put their cards in the same order that the players are sitting at the game table, which helps me remember their character names, because I haven't quite memorized all of their character names, and so having that, it helps me remember whose character name is who, you know. So that's the other thing that are on the back of those index cards that are on the top of my screen. So you don't have to buy some special initiative tracking system. You can just do that, and it's super simple. And then everybody can see it, and it's just like brain-numbingly easy too. I told my friend that I would let him pick the dragon for our next one shot. Should I have done that? Yes, because that'll be fun. That sounds fun to me. What do you know about your friend? Like, is your friend gonna pick the really hard one that's gonna kill everybody? I mean, or an easy one, you know? I don't know. I think it'll be fun. I wouldn't worry about it. And you know, at the end of the day, if everything goes south, you can just make new characters. That's fun in and of itself, so it's all good. Everyone is asking all these questions, but the most important one, how are you doing today? I'm doing okay. I had a very productive day. I got a whole bunch of crap done, so that makes me feel good. I always feel good when I get a bunch of crap done. Will the Secret Art of Game Master be available in your shop with all payment options at some point after the pre-orders? Yes, it will. I really want to pre-order it, but I don't have a credit card. Yeah, well, on our shop, the only way you can get it is by credit card or PayPal, really. So, but it will be on the DM Lair store eventually. Now, here's the thing. The physical books, we will have extras after the Kickstarter, but we usually just do one print run, and that's kind of all we do thus far to date. Because you have to order massive quantities to get good enough prices on the print books to make it worth your while. Like we literally we were thinking about doing a small print run of like 100 books for Lairs and Legends, and then it turned out it would cost us $100 per book to print them in that small of a quantity. And Zach and I were like, yeah, we're not doing that. So, but we just didn't. I mean, I should have known better, but I guess I wasn't thinking, you know. So yeah, you have to order books in like the thousands to get the kind of prices that make sense to actually order print runs. But yeah, the extras will be available on our store at some point. It will not be until after everybody from the Kickstarter gets their books. Let's be clear. Kickstarter people and pre-orders get their books first. And then after the dust is settled, then stuff goes on our store. That's how it works. So be clear. Let's be clear. Justified Reality, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that, dude. Thanks for the advice about the patent process. I'm past the drawings board and doing prototypes. If it works as intended, I'll take it to crowdfunding. I can send you a sample in the future to let you test as well. Cool, that'd be awesome. I do want to say, dude, like you should not don't use what I said. Don't like take what I said as like, Luke said this. No, if you want to know about patent crap, you need to talk to somebody who knows about patent crap. I don't. So lawyer or whatever it is, like I am not the authority on patent process. You should really not listen to me. You really shouldn't. You should go talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about, because I don't. Not for patent process. I can talk a whole lot about Kickstarters and stuff, but I know nothing in crowdfunding and crap, you know, but I don't know anything about patents really, so don't listen to me. I want to be clear on that. He wants a blue dragon, but I got to pick its age. Oh, cool. Make it an ancient one, dude. Dude, you got Dice Goblin. Make it ancient. Ancient. Solar dragon. I don't know what that one is. All right. Oh, hey, we should probably draw the winner to the giveaway. All right, so we're going to draw the winner to the giveaway. I will give people a few more minutes to join the giveaway if you would like. Giving away a copy of Into the Fae. It'll be signed by me. Or you can get DM Lair store credit, where you can pick up a whole bunch of other types of Game Master resources to use in your games, 5th edition, Pathfinder 2, etc. So join the giveaway at the link below, and I'll draw the winner in a couple of minutes. I'm going to go find some more questions, though. Finding questions. If anybody has any more, put them in chat. Somebody said LairCon question. Oh, Matthew Chamberlain. So Matthew, what I'm planning on doing, this is my crazy idea. I don't know for sure if I'm going to do this or not, but this is what I have ruminating. my wife and I in January, we are going to a castle in Ohio, and the castle is also a hotel, and it's a castle, and the rooms look like it's amazing. All the photos look amazing. So my wife and I are going to this castle. I think it's called Ravenwood Castle. It's in Ohio, and we're gonna go check this out. And what I'm thinking of doing is having like a super small LairCon where it's probably going to be 5 players, and it'll just be a weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, of the 5 players and me. That's it, playing D&D or Pathfinder 2 or something. We'll figure it out. Maybe Dungeon Crawl Classics or something. But it'll literally be like this little tiny retreat with like just me and 5 players playing role-playing games for 3 days, and we'll stay at this castle, and I'm going there to scout it out with my wife so that I can see how it would work and if there's a place for us to play. And they have these like buildings where that I think would have nice areas to play in and stuff. So anyway, we're gonna go scout it out. My thought for a LairCon this year, sometime in 2024, is just like very small, playing at the castle, there for the weekend and stuff, and we would just make it like a super premium experience, for a small amount of people and crap. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing. So I'm thinking the tickets would probably, they would include the stay at the hotel and stuff. We would just, because for GaryCon, they're doing a special, I forget what they're calling it, but there's a GaryCon this year. They're having a special GaryCon before the GaryCon that's called something else. I forget what it's called, but they're doing a special one because of the 50th anniversary of D&D, and they have these premium tickets that they're charging. It's like $2,000 for their tickets, and I was a sucker. I got one. But they have these premium tickets, and they come with the lodging and everything too. So you get in, you play with people, and it's got lodging and everything included. And so I was thinking of a similar idea, like I could have this like really cool premium experience, type of thing. So anyway, that's kind of something I'm thinking about for LairCon this year. So, and that will get around some of the logistics and other problems that caused us to have to cancel like 2023 LairCon. Do you normally have an idea how long encounters will take? Nah. Social and exploration are easy, but combat, geez, you never know. If it's 5th edition, count for at least a half an hour, maybe an hour for just one combat. Oh my gosh. Pathfinder 2 combat seems to go a lot faster though. It feels faster. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if and by the way, Greg Piet, he's talking about if I could even convince my wife to go to a castle. You should, dude. It'll be fun. Oh, you said I could even convince her to go to the castle. Yeah, that'd be awesome. So, what was I gonna say? So I don't know if like objectively Pathfinder 2 combat goes faster than 5th edition combat, but I can tell you that subjectively it feels faster. And I think it feels faster because it's more exciting. For me, in my Thieves Abound campaign, combat's just way more exciting in Pathfinder 2, and I'm having way more fun in it. And so it feels like it goes faster, So I don't know if it actually is faster. It's more fun, I can tell you that. Do you struggle to keep a straight face while DMing? No, I don't. I have a pretty good like I want to kill you face where I don't have any emotion. I'm pretty good at that. Very practiced. I'm like a professional liar. It's like what I do. So, you get used to it. Every game master is a professional liar. Okay. I think we're gonna draw the giveaway winner now. Poker face. I don't like calling it a poker. It's just like a motionless, I'm just so used to controlling my face in my games sessions, Okay, we're drawing the giveaway winner. Click some buttons over here. Now we're gonna draw the winner. Draw the winner. Draw them. All right. It looks like the winner is Joseph from Virginia. Joseph R. from Virginia. I shall be emailing you shortly to see what you would like. So, congratulations, dude. Congratulations. Robert Powell says Poker Face is now going to be referred to as I want to kill you face. Well, it's just like this blank, emotionless face, you know? It's almost like a scowl or something. I don't know. How do you deal with a player missing multiple sessions? I asked them what's going on. Why are you missing all these game sessions? And I play it by ear, but chances are good if I have a player that's missing multiple game sessions, that tells me, one, they're too busy in real life to make the game, or two, they don't really want to be there. So it's one of those. Either they're too busy or they don't want to be there. Or they have some other reason. But it's irrelevant, really, because the fact of the matter is that if I have a player who's never there, are they really a player in my game? Or are they an empty seat that I should fill with somebody else who wants to play the game and who can be there? See, that's the question. That's the question. And so if somebody is constantly absent and missing the game and stuff, I'm going to work very quickly to talk with them and figure out what's going on, you know, and potentially look to replace them with somebody else. Either they don't have time in their life or they don't want to be there, which are both fine. I respect that. I'm not going to take that personally. But if you're not there, I need somebody to be there. And I want somebody to be there. And I'm not just going to hold a spot for you just because you were there, you know, for a couple years, but now you don't ever come anymore. It's like, it doesn't matter, dude. Like, if you're not going to be there, then you're not going to be there. And let's find somebody who wants to play the game, you know? They have vacations where you play D&D in a castle. I know, dude. That'd be super fun. All right, I think we're done, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we're done, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hanging out. Lots of fun. We'll be here next week, probably streaming and talking about cool crap again. So thank you for hanging out with me and you know, super exciting and stuff. All right, bye. Pushing buttons now.